Brownlee. I'm a painter originally from the Southeast. Right now I live in Seattle. I'm at the University of Washington. I'm halfway through the MFA program there in the painting department, and we can start this. So I'm a narrative painter, which means the paintings tell a story. With me, there's usually just a hint of a story. I try to keep it open-ended so that there's room for interpretation, and a lot of the story is left in the viewer's imagination. And everything you're gonna see is acrylic and oil painting. The one on the left is the closest I've come to history painting. This is called Elijah Mitchell's Funeral. And Elijah Mitchell was a geologist in the mid-1800s who was measuring the heights of peaks east of the Mississippi. There was one mountain in North Carolina that he thought was the highest, and he was in a rivalry with another scientist named Klingman. They each had an idea about which mountain was the highest. And Mitchell was on top of one of the mountains measuring the height when he died, slipped and fell into a waterfall. He was died on top of the mountain, and this is my depiction of his funeral where the forest spirits come to pay their respects. You can switch it. This is one piece about the reintroduction of wolves into Yellowstone. A lot of my work involves different ways of knowing things, mixing usually ecology and mythology as two different ways that people understand the natural world. And you can switch it. A lot of my paintings are just kind of visual poems. I don't have a specific story that I'm trying to get across to people, but it's more just implied. Oh yeah, this one is a really small painting. It's only about 6 inches high. It's inspired by a quote from John Muir that says, "Any fool can destroy trees." This one's called "Any Fool Can Kill a Wolf." And I had this in a show in North Carolina. It had a lot of paintings in it, a lot of really big ones. This was a small piece. And the gallery owner took one look at it and said, "Well, nobody's gonna buy this one." And then it ended up being the only piece from the show that sold.
Oh my God.
And then 6 months later, a guy emailed me and said, "Hey, I saw this painting 6 months ago. I can't stop thinking about it. Like, is it still available?" I told him, "No, it's sold." But he wrote me this long story about how he felt about it, the impression it had on him. He was a hunter, but it was something about the casualness of the guy holding the gun and his pose that just really struck him. So it just goes to show there's no accounting for taste. Next. This is Major Fungi. It's a really small piece. And switch it. And a lot of my pieces, for me, it's about overwhelm. Kind of getting an overwhelming amount of information that you can't take in. The conscious mind tries to piece it together to make some coherent story, but it's not there, which for me is a common experience in life. Oh, this one called Wolves at the Table, and I originally thought of the wolves as being ghosts of the animals that used to be here, but some people have told me, no, that's wrong. Those wolves represent things that are unsaid within the relationship of the family. This one's called Swan Song for Sea Ice. It's about 7 feet by 5 feet. And the swans are singing a song. And everything else you're going to see is murals. This is one in Johnson City, Tennessee. This is highlighting a lot of the native wildlife in the area, and also that environment's close relationship between culture and nature. And from this one, I learned that the purpose of murals these days is for selfies. So that's an image I got off of Instagram. I don't know who those people are. I also did a lot of murals for hospitals, and I collaborated with an artist named Julia Burr to make a lot of small murals in a pediatric ICU. And so a lot of these were things transforming into butterflies, because this is a space where a lot of transformations happen, a lot of sad things happen. And a woman went in there with her baby died in the ICU, and this was on the wall of that room, and then she got it tattooed on her back, and then she sent me that image.
Wow.
This is one from 2020. This is June of 2020. It was a thank you to healthcare workers right outside a hospital. And we got a lot of people giving us the thumbs up. I got a lot of volunteers to help paint this one. It was a lot of fun. And then a doctor emailed me later with a long email just thanking us for creating this mural, because they really, a lot of the doctors at that time really did feel like the work they were doing was not being seen. And this is my most recent mural. I did it as part of a large group called the Community Mural Institute. And we started by having community listening sessions. An artist named Greta McLean led it, where we got a lot of input from the community about what they wanted in a mural. Then we painted the mural on polytab, which is a parachute material. Everybody came out, hundreds of people painted on the mural, and then we put it up like wallpaper. Put up 3 murals in the town in a weekend. There was an African American mural, Asian American mural, and workers mural, all within a block of a Confederate monument, which is not going to come down. I was in charge of the workers mural, so that's what you see going up there. And this is the finished mural. It is about 70 feet by 20 feet. So honoring the firemen, nurses, policemen, teachers, and a bunch of others. And this is the cop from the mural, Officer Keith. We had a big unveiling party and everybody had a good time with it. So thank you, that's my presentation.
Woo!
Anybody curious? Yeah.
I'm curious on multiple counts, but when you did the community mural, and did you design it and then they painted it in? Is that how that was working, or?
I designed it with a lot of feedback from a lot of different interested parties who didn't agree with each other. And then this is my team. There were 6 of us who painted the panels. Well, first the public painted on them, and then we finished them. We divided the mural up into different sections and each painted a section. And then once it was put up, we had to do some overpainting, mostly on the seams.
To join them together.
Yeah.
So you had an overall plan of what you wanted, like colors where, and you let.
Oh, it was so scientific. Yeah, we had binders of. We made a giant paint by number.
I can imagine.
It was really well organized. If you're curious about murals, Greta McLean runs a company called Good Space Murals, and she has a system down, and she walked us all through the whole process.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, and just comment on your painting style. It's very collage-like.
Yeah.
It's very surreal in the way that it's put together. If you hadn't said it was painting, I'd be absolutely sure. It was
Usually
collage.
someone asks where those collages, so I went ahead and just said, yeah, they're all paintings.
It's very, very cool.